I think we are starting.
Yeah, recording started. Shoaib, over to you. You can.
I'm sharing my screen. Are you able to see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will directly start with chapter 4. So till chapter 3, what we have, I will just quickly summarize in 1 or 2 minutes that the Bill Palmer was appointed as the new VP of the IT operations by Steve Master, who is the CEO of the company. And he, on the first day of his job, he was assigned a very critical issues that was related to uh, staff billing, and he there was some issue from the information security team. So they asked for a quick changes in the production system, and a developer from the development team did that changes. Due to that, there was some issue in the entire system, and the batch that was supposed to update the payroll details were not run properly, and due to which all these issues, last moment this issue arises, and they were not able to fix that on the time, and due to that, they faced some issues and from the labor union, and they were in the news too. So this was a quick summary. So moving to chapter 4. So this is a day 2 of the new job to the new job for the Bill Farmer. So he started his day by reading the mails. So there were 500 plus mails in his inbox. So he just skipped through all the yesterday's failure and not non-important mails, and read a couple of mails. So from that, he came to know that Ellen is going to be his new, going to support him, and he was be, working under him. So he directed him to read all the mails, and if he's finding any mail from the Steve or Dick, then you can directly ask him to call. So apart from that, there were a lot of voicemails too that he got in the morning. So this was his usual morning, but when he was just going through the mails, he got an urgent, important mail from Sarah Moulton. So she is the VP of operation, VP of Retail's operation, senior VP of Retail operation. So she dropped a mail mentioning that the importance of Phoenix project, and she is saying that Bill Palmer is holding up the release, and so they call for an emergency project management meeting at 10. So this mail Bill forwarded to his two deputy, that is Wes and Patty, and he called Wes on the phone. So he was just trying to understand what exactly the issue and why this particular mail came to his mailbox and what's the urgency of it. So he came to know that, due to the previous day issues, that Brent was working on something for the environment setup, but we, uh, due to urgency of that particular issue, he was pulled from that configuration of the test environments, and he was not able to finish that job. So maybe they were thinking this particular thing is due to uh, non-delivery of their requirement, development team's requirement. So the issue was actually 2 weeks before development team requested them for the new test environment setups. And actually developers don't have the exact understanding what exactly they need in the test environment and what sort of a configuration they were requiring, and whatever they were delivering it, they were just coming up this configuration is wrong. So this was a particular issue due to which they were unable to uh, deliver that particular request. So next is Bill went to the meeting in the building number 9, and he just he reached to the meeting room, and there he saw few people. So one is Kirsten Finger. So she is the project management officer. So she is a PMO of the Phoenix project, and so he just described what exactly what type of personality she is. And then on the right of her is Sarah, from whom he got the mail. And so there are around 25 people in the meeting room, and many of them were the business line owners and Chris Ellers. So Chris Ellers is the development lead, development team VP. So he was also present with his team, and on the right of him was the Bess. So the meeting started by PMO, that is Kirsten, and she, started that there were 12 tasks in the critical path of the Phoenix Phase 1 project, but they were only able to deliver three of those tasks. So to defend that, Bill started saying that why they were not able to deliver it, and he mentioned that Brent, the person who was working on that particular request, was working on the payroll failure issues, and that was the unforeseen emergency, but uh, they have to handle it. So in reply to that, Sarah highlighted the importance of Phoenix project and why we have to deliver it and why we should not be, delaying things, competition from the market. So, and she also said that you know operation teams, right, builds team is trying to delay the things, and they are not taking all the requests on the priority, and not considering this particular project as the important project. So the conversation continues, and he said uh, he replied that they were having two important things. One was the Phoenix project, and the other was the payroll failure. So they were working on the payroll failure. So they said ki it's so Sarah again blamed that it's the IT that causes the failure in the first place. If you had not done that, then it should not be an issue for them. So this discussion continues, and apart from that, there was the fire from this end to that end, and from business and development team and the ops team. So then Chris is the development lead. So so Sarah asked her what exactly the timeline they can deliver this particular piece of work. So Chris said if with okay, if we expedite some things, if the virtualized environment from the builds team work as expected, we can go into production 1 week from the Friday. So he has just given a timeline of 1 week that they would be able to, deliver the things in a week. So for Bill, this was, just arbitrary timeline that he has given, and without considering the efforts from ops team and from the testing teams. So seeing this particular conversation, Wes, who is working under Bill, he said that it's not that straightforward. We have to consider the performance of your code, and seeing all this thing will require a huge infrastructure in the backend to support the entire Phoenix project. So it's not feasible. They won't be able to deliver that particular requirement on time. So they still don't have the concrete specification how the production and test system should configure. So for this particular scenario was something very common what Bill has seen in his previous experience also, that usually the management take an urgent date driven project, and where shipment cannot be delayed because of some external commitments to the customer, and then they add developers who take all the times, leaving no time for the testing and operation teams to work on this particular their piece of work. And then in the end what happened is so in the end things are not delivered on the times, and software product is unstable, that even the people who wanted that particular piece of the work don't need that particular thing. So he was saying that this timeline is very short, and so but what his point was, we if we are just considering that particular timeline and we are just going ahead with it, then it's very important that we are delivering the right piece of the code, and that user experience should not be bad enough. So basically what we are trying is to get the customer's attention, but if the user experience is not good, we'll be driving our customer uh, to their competitors only. One more thing that came up in that particular conversation is, project management team and the business invited operations team to the architectural and planning meeting, but due to their commitment or due to their issues at hand, they were not attending this particular meeting. So in conclusion of that, they were just stick to the original timeline. They did not change that particular deadline for the project, and they say that marketing launch would be on the next September 13. So and the deployment would be of 5 p.m. So they hardly have a week to deliver the entire requirement. So this was the scene in the project management meeting that happened with the all CEO, project manager, and the launch line managers. So once they were out of the meeting, Bill was discussing this particular meetings points with Wes, and he was saying that they don't exactly have the specification what sort of environment they need, and they also don't have the proper handoff or proper handoff with the development team. So in the previous, what they used to do is they just asked they are just given a network folder and say that they will deploy that code in that particular folder. So what he suggested is assemble all the teams from either they are from a development team or the ops team, and what he has asked is whatever you just understand what exactly the requirement is and fix this particular issue. So this was the conclusion of the project management meeting. So next, okay, after project management meeting, he went to his desk, and here it's mentioned about that there was some issue with his laptop, and he asked his assistant Ellen to fix it. And so after that, there was another meeting that was scheduled in his calendar. So it was change management meeting. So that was scheduled by Patty. So due to the particular laptop issue, he actually got late to that particular meeting. And when he arrived there, so he was shocked to see only Patty in that particular meeting, and nobody was there in the meeting room. So he was sharing his experience. The project management or the change management meetings is that particular meeting where they used to coordinate and organize all their work to make sure, you know, they are delivering all the changes on time and they are not missing any deadlines. So this used to be an important meeting, but here nobody is attending the change management meeting. And so this particular issue was highlighted by Patty in the previous, when the payroll issues arises yesterday. So she said that they have a process and they have all the systems and tool in that organization, but no one follows and nobody uses the tool they have. So he asked, Patty to schedule another meeting, cab meeting for the same time on the Friday, and say that this is an important meeting that every cab member should attend. And if they are not attending it, they should take permission from Bill. So he dropped this particular mail, regarding that change management meeting, that he was very disappointed to attend today's meeting, that nobody was available, and there is another meeting on Friday, and he's expecting every person to be available on Friday. If they are not able to attend that particular meeting, they should come up with a reason, otherwise they will face some actions on it. So once he sent this mail, then once he sent this particular mail, he got a call from Wes, and he was just highlighting. Okay, so he just read the mail regarding the change management meeting and asked. He was discussing with Bill on that thing, that. Okay, so. Then he was highlighting that how Patty was asking everyone to use the applications or the processes they have for the change management, and but those processes are not that effective, and it used to take uh, more time. If you are using that particular software or the processes, it is taking approx 20 minutes to fill out that particular form for the simple 5 minutes of changes. So that was a time consuming. So instead of helping them, that particular software and the processes are making things difficult for them. So this was the issue that was highlighted regarding the change management meeting. But so through this, Bill came to know that it's not only they have some issues from development team or information security team or the business. There is some issues that's going on within IT operation team also, within the team. So that needs to be fixed. So he ended this particular chapter on this particular conclusion. Moving to chapter 4. I'm stopping my screen, and which part our TJ can take it up.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Shiv, for insight on the chapter 4. Before we proceed to chapter 5, Animesh, do you have any quiz lined up so we can take that up?
I do not have actually anything today.
Okay,
I was having a severe headache and I'm really sorry. I could not make anything. Sorry about that.
no problem. I think then we can ask TG or Mushtaq to carry
Sure.
on with chapter 5.
And I
So,
forgot to ask TJ, how are you feeling now? Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm fine. That was
Good, good,
with
good.
bad headache.
Okay, that's good. So thank you, Shoaib, for taking us through that virtualization and visuals that I could imagine. I was not looking at the screen that you were sharing. Actually, I was trying to listen to you the way you were sharing, so that it was creating some images in my head, like I was reading through the book. So, but thank you for taking us through that.
Okay, so TJ, you would like to go or shall I go?
Yeah, I will just begin because I have read starting part of the chapter only. So what I felt reading the chapter, I consequently read both chapter 4 and 5, and thanks to Shoaib, he has given a very brief introduction about chapter 4 and it has refreshed all the things. Till now, everybody is aware that how the IT organization is run by Apple is going through a
TJ,
lot of.
I'm barely able to hear you. Is that everyone also feeling the same, or is it just me?
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit low. Yeah.
TJ, if you
Uh,
can
uh,
speak a little
am
more.
I audible now?
Yeah, you are much better. Thank you.
Okay. So by now you all have got this sense that how the IT organization taken over by Bill is going through a lot of one by one challenges. First, they face the challenge of the production issue. No, still not able to hear. Just let me
Yeah,
check.
when you're saying that, I guess you had leaned forward. I mean, we are able to hear you, but we have to hear it with a lot of effort to focus.
Just let me check because I'm attending it from my mobile. I'm not in Pune right now.
Okay,
So let me check if I'm using the correct microphone. Give me a second.
sure.
We know how the IT organization is going through a lot of challenges. First, they face the production issue, then the critical
So suddenly,
warnings
when
were.
you start talking, initially when you ask us that, can you hear me okay? We can hear you okay. But when you start reciting the story, your voice is very feeble. I don't know what happens. Do you lean
But
backward when you're speaking, or?
no. I'm just sitting straight, and the phone speakers are very close to me. Uh, how is it now? That
Yeah, it is now. Whenever you ask that question, it is always better. But when you start speaking about the story, it goes away.
okay. Uh, I think let Mushta continue then. If there is a voice issue, then I will. Meanwhile, I will check and.
Yeah, how about trying this? Speak to us like we were like 8 feet apart. Like you would have to pitch. You have to throw your voice to us. Let's see if that works. Or you are in a group and you don't have a mic, so you are presenting to a group of about 50
Uh,
people without a mic.
Let me go to the terrace then, because other people in the home enjoying this
They
Sunday
will get
afternoon.
scared, or what happened to this fellow?
No, they
Because
are
we
enjoying the
really want
Sunday
to listen
afternoon.
to you, and we want to be honest that we are not able to hear you.
Okay.
Sorry for.
Now, without telling anything, I'll just start. So you can interrupt in between if you're not able to listen to me.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am telling that till now we learned so many issues. First, the production issue was there, and then now there were issue with the releases. One of the releases for Phoenix project was stuck, and then there was an issue with cab. Nobody was attending their release meeting. So I was just, when I was reading all these things, I was just visualizing how important the IT operations is, and how we need to prioritize the. That's what the feeling I got at the first instance. And then if you look at the beginning of the first fifth chapter is another monster, I would say. So they were struggling with the production issue. They were struggling with the development release. They were struggling with people not attending the camp. They were struggling with the processes. They have built in a good system to enter their releases and follow the processes. Nobody was following that. So with all those crap happening, there was a big bouncer which always, is pain for everyone. The audit comes in, and that too from the CEO. And this reminds me the situation I also had in my career, that whenever audit things comes, it directly comes from the senior manager. It is from the CEO or CIOs, and there's nothing in that, but it gets lots and lots of attention. So that's what happens with Bill again. The poor guy has to, again listen to the CEO and directly, forget about the production issue and whatever happening in the development. You just need to go into a 2 hour long meeting to, understand what's going on the audit. They have to, I think they have to complete the SOX 404 audit, and there were a lot of findings, and there are some findings which were open for since uh, last 3 years, and suddenly everything takes the back seat, and audit comes in picture, and Bill has no idea what to do with his kind of audit. He directly goes into the meeting. I'm forgetting the name of the lady. I think it's Nancy. And Nancy, who was the auditor, she was describing the audit points, whatever open audit points, and Bill suddenly realizes the scene where she scolded up the manager during their one of the acquisition meetings. So he was really, worried, and then he calls his direct and asked about what can we do with this audit point. There were hundreds of audit points, and two of them are really, really very critical. So, and usually they have to get almost 6 to 8 weeks time. Now she is saying that you need to fix it in 6 days time, on top of whatever Phoenix projects they are running, whatever business, whatever production issues they have. So that's what the really case. So till now, till this point only I was able to read. Uh, I'm sorry for that because last week was really tough for me. I'm not also in Pune. So so what I want to say here is just in conclusion till now. Um, uh, there is when it comes to the middle management, they have to face a lot of things. They have to ensure that whatever processes they need to follow it, be it the audit process or be it anything they have. Anything can bounce back anytime. We need to be prepared for that. So that's what my uh, that's what I feel by reading the chapter 5 till. I think Mustaq can take us over for the rest of the chapter.
Great, great. Thank you, TJ. And I like how you started this like a conversation between friends, right? You tried to give us some context behind that, and then you were empathizing with Bill Palmer, right? As if you were in his position, right? That
Yeah.
Like there were less issues already that this auditor had to come in. So I love that. So that interaction, like all of us have read the book, right? We come here by reading the chapter, right? So maybe we can add in our insights, like you just said, that there is always some pressure on the middle management, and one of the things that Bill's bosses lost their job could have been that ignoring those audits that the auditor had said, right? You mentioned that the audits were there since 3 years, and they accepted that these audits were brought to their attention, but they failed to act on it. So great.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, TJ. Thanks.
Uh,
A clap or a slap? Dish, what was that? Simple.
it's
A clap, right? It's not animated, so it's just one-handed show. Okay.
okay. So let me take over from here. I'm not sure whether I will be able to screen whiteboard. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
I think to come up that, yeah, now it's
Yeah,
next.
yeah. So we were at as TJ explained that we got some security issues related to the during the audit finding, and it was related to the SOX 404 auditing. Okay, and in that team find that around 952 issues were relating to the deficiency, out of which we have some significant deficiency, and two are potential material weaknesses. Okay, and when Bill found it, it was a huge bunch of issues, and it was like bundle of papers were there. And as soon as he took the this that bunch of papers, he found that at issue 127 it was related to the insecure Windows operating systems, and it was max in cookie setting. So he was also surprised, like it's like a joke that we got this kind of issues. Okay, so and suddenly that Nancy responds gravely that unfortunately at this point the phase of control review and testing is over. So what is required from you is now is that you take the responsibility on behalf of management, and you do the investigation on behalf of management, and you give us the final confirmation plan and concrete plan that how you are going to tackle these situations, and how you are going to avoid these issues in future. Okay, so this conversation goes on, and uh, at that time Nancy was pointing out that he has a capability to remediating some other controls, and John was saying that we should be given the credit for it, and he and his team did some tokenization of PI on critical financial systems. Okay, but Nancy was a little bit surprised, and that which kind of tokenization systems, it was nothing to do with this issue. Okay, but but and secondly, Nancy also pointed out that we have for deployment process to the production environment, or maybe any kind of changes developers are doing, we have certain kind of change management process, and we have weekly management meetings as well. But as in previous chapter we have seen that no one was attending the management minutes of meeting, change management meetings. Okay, so he was pointing that your group is unable to produce any kind of change management meetings, and which is supposed to meet weekly, and which is also part of the policy. But interestingly, no one was attending that meeting. Okay, and what Nancy was pointing out that if you will do something, and if something goes wrong, and we will have 100 million fraudulent transaction. That might be the reason. Okay. And second point is also pointing out that developers are many times developers are doing the changings in applications, and without they are having any kind of change management process, or without they are having any CRs for that doing the changes. Okay. So it's like a hundred, certainly it's kind of security risk. And what happen if something developers or something goes wrong, and some unauthorization access granted to any unauthorized persons, so which will leads to the use financial loss, as well as it will impact to the reputation of the firm. And what John is saying, that John is suggesting that I am ready to volunteers, and he was suggesting that we should get this vulnerable systems patched, and he was saying that his team was experiencing in patching the systems, and if you need any kind of assistance and audit findings, then it will be a awesome opportunity to close these security holes. But at the same times, what Bill was looking that if John want to pitch himself for finding this solution, then what Bill wants from the John is a signed piece of paper from him. And if he push the button and the entire business green, or entire business is going to down, or application is going to down, and John will be responsible for all grovels and all issues which we will might be faced in a production environment. So this all arguments happen between the John and Bills regarding the how we can fix this auditing issues. And what Nancy is want that she wants to do the preliminary auditing findings, and she wants that what next, and what would be our next objective to do this meeting, as well as to find out this remove this all these auditing stuffs. Okay. And during this meeting, Bill came to know that if any person who can drive from this problem is the person is Brent. But that Bill was very much angry that why we are every time we are saying Brent. Why can't we do from anything without him? Why don't we have any resources? Why don't we have any commitment resources to do this kind of works? And why don't we hire any resources if we require from to doing this kind of work? But what his colleague is saying that we have already hired these resources, but as soon as we are hiring the resources, and Brent is giving the proper training to the resources, but in spite of giving certain training to the resources don't have that much of capability to come at level with the Brent. So this is something related to the resource crunch, which companies also facing. And yeah, and Bill's colleagues was she was saying that we are getting Bill asked that how we are getting the requirements, how we are getting the change requirements from various projects. But what Bill is asking that we don't have any concrete, or we don't have any defined plan in which we should get the change request or any fixes in production environment. So Bill is suddenly asking that how many projects we are, and how many infrastructure projects we are handling. But his colleagues don't have any answer, but he will try to get it from the Christian, and if he will have any answers, he will get in touch. He will provide all this stuff. And what Bill is suggesting, after discussing with her junior colleagues, that we should have a concrete plan, and we should involve all the stakeholders, and we should get all the change requests and all the fixes which we are getting from the various business and stakeholders. We should have in a same plate, so we can track whatever changes which we are doing. So this all conversation is going on, and her colleague is trying to make send the one meeting invitations to all the stakeholders for sorry. Her colleague was trying to set up the one meeting to send one to all the stakeholders, to have a list of businesses or projects which we are going on, what kind of change request which we are going on, what kind of prioritization which we have for the change request or any fix which we require. Okay. So this she was just trying to type all this in a drafting in a mail, and suddenly Petty was saying that this should be a pretty straightforward way, because he said that we should give some kind of idea, like what kind of projects are there, what kind of change requests are there, how many prioritization are there, who is the owner for that change request and all. So she presented all this stuff to Bill, and he was saying that this should be pretty straightforward, and we can have a meeting in 15 minutes to have a conversation with the all stakeholders, and how we can get move ahead with this projects and change request. So she gave a thumbs up, and she will set up a meeting with other stakeholders. So till now, this is about the chapter 5.
Good job, Mushtaq.
Yeah, thanks, Mushtaq. Okay, I think we have Girish also. Girish, thanks for joining us. I know you had issues, but thanks for again connecting. So yeah, I think we're done with 2 chapters, 4 and 5. So yeah, Girish, maybe if you can.
No, I think I said, yeah, thank you so much. Even I'm happy to see you, to meet you all. Unfortunately, there was no electricity since the morning. But yes, it was a good luck and maybe strong willpower that, yeah, at least supply got resumed at 4:30. So nice to see you all. Discussion is really going good. So I would say, yeah, continue with it. So we have, I believe, chapter number 4 and 5 covered, right?
Yes, correct. And I think those are the only chapters which we are covering today.
Okay.
Chapter 6 was to be taken by Deepthi, but she's unfortunately not well. She's not joining.
Oh.
So yeah, she's having some headache, I guess. Yeah, Dr. Abdul.
Okay.
Weather,
no problem.
It's really gloomy.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right. Yeah.
So we will be, I think, completing only 2 chapters today.
No problem. I think we should be good. So thank you to TJ, and thanks Mushtaq for sharing your learnings.
And Shoaib also. You were not there when Shoaib started with chapter.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Shoaib.
So I just wanted to ask one thing, right? Last time we, as a group, we decided that we will turn on the camera. Did you see any difference when we had turned on the camera and when we were discussing, or what? I just wanted to know your thoughts. What was the difference, or is it was the same? That could also be.
Yeah, I think I felt the difference. It was easy to concentrate, like what is the maybe the person's trying to convey. So by looking at that person, so yeah, there is a bit difference.
I always love to turn on my camera, but I have bandwidth issue today, so that's why I
No problem.
But I think my camera was off during my presentation, right? I'm not sure.
It got turned off somehow. I don't know when you.
Yeah, I think I missed it.
That's okay. But you had your camera turned on all the time.
Yeah.
One thing is from my notice, but before that, Shoaib, do you want to share something? That how was your experience?
Yeah, it was good. The focus point, I would agree with Sarfraz on that. We don't have the camera on, it's become a bit difficult to focus on that. So at least if you are seeing the faces, you will get the facial expressions also. If you're presenting something and yeah, your audience is listening to you.
Yeah, that is important. Right?
They are
You
acknowledging
want
you.
somebody that you are saying something, and people, if they are, you don't know if they're listening or not, it becomes really demotivating, right? Or imagine you are in a bunch of you're hanging out with a group of friends, and all of them are on their cell phones, and you are talking and talking, and nobody is paying attention to you. It might feel you a little discouraging. It might make you a little discouraged. Right? And also when you're on camera, somehow you have that accountability. Automatically it comes that you don't multitask, or
Yeah.
you easily get sucked into that small device phone as easily as you would when you have turned on, because once nobody is watching, it's very difficult to not get sucked into those technological sinks, or what do you say, distraction sinks.
Distractions, yeah.
Great, but yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's correct. So maybe we can discuss the learning from chapter 4 and chapter 5, uh, or maybe we can retrospect also, if we have we need to work on any improvements, or basically the learnings which we have from today's session.
Sure. And where is our friend Abdul? Hey, Abdul.
Is there?
Hi, Girish. Yes, sorry. I
Hello.
was unable to. I was just listening. So since you all are there, so I was just trying to be silent. Okay.
No
As silent
problem.
as it can be. But thank you very much, Animesh, Girish, and everyone. Okay, Sarfraz, so to take it forward. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anytime, sir. Because we all are learning together. So
Yep.
definitely a good idea put up by you. And yes, I think we'll continue contributing
Yes,
as much as we can. Definitely.
Yeah. Since we targeted for 2 chapters today, so I think we targeted for 3 chapters. And if we see today, we are meeting for the 3rd time, and our target is to finish the book in next 5 weeks. Okay. So let's target 3 chapters or 4 chapters next week, so that if somebody is turning down, we have some backup to take the next chapter forward. Okay. Because what I learned from last week, since last 2 weeks, is that okay, we need to be prepared for the next 2 chapters. We need to be ready for the next 2 chapters, so that if somebody is turning down, so we can proceed further. This is what my learning. So wanted to know from this group who are going to take the upcoming next chapters.
So what I was also thinking is, we'll have a primary assignee of a chapter, and then we'll have a secondary one. So, and it should not be giving us freedom to, take leave or, skip this meeting if you have the secondary assignee. But yeah, that might be a drawback of it, but at least we will have a primary assignee who would be mainly presenting that chapter. In case he is not present, then we will move to secondary assignee. Because all these chapters are linked. So if so today Dipti was not present, right? If we are skipping chapter 6 and directly moving to chapter 7, we might be missing some important things from that thing. So that's why I was thinking at least we'll have secondary assignee. So if primary is not present, secondary can pick up that chapter.
Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with either way.
Yeah,
I'm fine with either way.
I do agree with the swipe points.
Yes, even I think I like Soeb's idea because just maybe this book is a kind of a story, right? So the moment we miss one chapter, maybe the entire connect might got messed up. So yes, definitely if we want to go at a pace, so I like the idea of maybe having that first, second, or maybe primary and secondary, or maybe just as kind of a backup. That will certainly help.
Actually, I have one thing in my mind. Okay, because what we thought is that okay, if there are 7 participants, the load on one participant or the load should not increase. So since there are 7 participants, so roughly 15%. Okay, 15 into 7, it is 105. So that means we will be able to cover the 100% book. So the load should be as less as it can be on individual. So if we ask to become the backup of another, then the load will increase from 15 to 30%. Okay, so that is one disadvantage, or that is another problem, because people should not feel overburdened and they should not turn down. So what I feel is it's okay to go one chapter less, but not to increase the load on the participant. Because just take the example, Animesh and me have prepared the same chapter and we both are present. Then I think load on Animesh or load on me will increase, right? To read the same chapter, right? While we could have read the other chapters. So that is another aspect. That is another side of the coin. Because
absolutely.
BRC,
I think a valid point. So Abdul, what maybe I would love to hear from the participants altogether.
Sure.
So now we all almost have read maybe 3-4 chapters of the book. So definitely, I think I go with the Abdul's idea that we do not want anyone to be overloaded or overwhelmed as well. But yes, with whatever Sohaib suggested as an idea, do we feel that are we interested or are we motivated to learn maybe an additional chapter every week, or we feel that that could be a little bit maybe more of us? What does the group feel?
No, I think
it should be fine.
go ahead.
I think it should be fine. Being a secondary, to between a primary and secondary, will give us more opportunity to grow.
Okay.
We will get to know different flavors as well. For example, if secondary person also want to add some more flavors to it, then it will be beneficial for everyone.
Okay, makes sense.